Hey guys, this is Masha Schwartz with Masha Schwartz Art. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're preparing for the upcoming art show that we're applying to. This is the Rockville Art Show, and we're going to be setting up an art booth that we just got today. And we're also creating our own display panels, and this episode is going to focus on how do you put together your own display case. And this case you could take not only to the arts and crafts shows, but you can also take it to any of the other art shows out there. So we're gonna get started, and we're gonna look at the materials that you're gonna need first, and then we're gonna walk you step by step through how to set up each panel. To create each panel, we're using the hardwood wall panels that we found at Lowe's, and we're using 2x2x8 pieces of wood to create a frame behind each wall panel so it supports the wall panel when you're going to hang up the artwork on it. And let's dive right in so I can show you how we're going to put them together. You want to have a long table or some kind of long support on the floor if you're going to be putting this together, because it helps support the wood. Otherwise your panels are going to be kind of flimsy. You just put the panel, align it with your piece of wood at the edge. You're going to drill through. And you're gonna screw each board together. You want to do the ends first to make sure everything is aligned, and then do a couple additional pieces in the middle. All right, the next part is to cut a few smaller pieces that we're gonna put underneath here that will fit snug between the two pieces of wood that you see. All right, that are going to create our frame and hold our panels in place sturdy when we stand them up. Each piece is roughly 35 and a half, somewhere there, but be sure to measure it. Don't just go to Home Depot or Lowe's and have them pre-cut it for you, because sometimes they'll be a little more, a little less. You want to make sure that they're really snug and they actually create a nice sturdy frame for you between the two pieces of wood that are supporting your panel on each side. Once you position your wood in between the other two pieces of wood, you want to screw it in on top with a few screws the same as you screwed the sides, and then we're gonna also drill through each side of the wood and screw in another screw to hold the added piece in place in between the two side portions. And our panel is done. The last thing that we're gonna do for each panel is paint them dark gray. If you guys wanna do a different color, you could certainly do that, or you could just leave them white, whichever you prefer. I wanted to have gray panels similar to the Pro panels, so I decided to get dark gray paint and paint mine gray. This also will help hide the screws and hold the longevity of the wood and preserve the panels themselves to make sure everything is waterproof, just in case it rains outside or you encounter other crazy conditions. And they won't get as scratched up, they'll stay in good condition, and they'll serve you for many years. So it's been a couple hours and we've put together 8 boards. We need to put together 9 boards in total, and I've painted them in gray. And the next step for us is to put together pairs of 2 boards so that you can create a U shape within your tent. 2 of them will have to be attached on the back side so that they create a straight line in your display, and 2 pairs will need to be attached on the front so that you can create corners with them. And you'll have 1 single board that will be placed in between the 2 corners and attached on top and on the bottom, also on the back, so that your display is stable. We're attaching the boards with 2.5-inch hinges, and I'm currently working on attaching the corner ones. So what I'm doing is I'm pre-drilling where the holes are, and then I'm just putting in drywall screws into the hinge to make sure that it's attached. Once you have the boards attached, you will have a display that looks like this, where these 2 are attached on the back side, and basically we just attach them with the wood. I'll show you from behind. And this is the corner piece, similar to the one that we just put together, and you should be able to see the hinges. I'm going to paint them on these panels, but your panels will look nice and chic within your corner of the booth, and they'll create a really nice display for you when you start to hang up artwork on them. Hey guys, so from the back your hinges will look like this. We just attached them to the 2 pieces of wood that make up your frame, and we attached 3 of them, 1 on top, 1 in the middle, and 1 on the base, just to make sure that your boards stay intact and so that they hold up. We also attached legs to each of the boards, and next I'm going to walk you through how we did that. For the legs, we're going to be using the flat bar stock metal pieces, which we pre-drilled prior to attaching them to the base of our panels with a little bit of an incision. So you can see it right here, but not all the way through, so that when you put your bolts in, they sit snugly and don't fall out, okay? Before we attach these, however, we are going to put in the small triangles on each side. These will help support your panel from the base, and they will also ensure that this bottom plank right here is not moving when you're attaching the legs. So be sure to attach these first, and when you're putting in the screws through them, make sure the screw does not pass here or it's going to split your triangles. For this next portion, we're going to be using a bolt, 2 washers, and a nut. And we're going to be pre-drilling the holes down here. So we're going to put this metal piece close to the edge here. And you just want to make sure that it fits from the bar on the right to kind of midway or a little less than midway, and pre-drill it. You guys can mark this and then drill through. You don't necessarily need to hold the bar up, or you can hold the bar up to make sure that your drill will fit through it. Either way works. Next, you're gonna put the bolt through it. You're gonna put a first washer through it, put it through your bar, add another washer on the end, on the back. And I used a pair of pliers and a screwdriver. Actually used a manual screwdriver to tighten it for the other panels. So what I did was I held down this one and I manually tightened it as tight as you can get it. You don't want to use a automatic screwdriver because it might strip the bolt and then you won't be able to get it out and your legs won't be working correctly. But you really want to make sure that it's nice and snug as you can get it. So when you're moving these legs underneath your panel sits tightly and it's not tilting over, because it's going to rely on this bolt and this construction here to hold part of it up. And that's it. Now you have the legs for your panel, and when you stand it up, you want to actually adjust them slightly on an angle so that your panel stands up. If you adjust them straight on like this, your panel may not be as steady. We found that at an angle, they're gonna hold up your panel a lot stronger. For attaching this last panel to the other panels that we've created, we're just gonna put a couple of screws on each side and attach wire on the backs of the other panels just to keep it in place. There are many ways that you guys can attach panels on top with just a couple screws and a wire, or small braces and other mechanisms. You also may want to consider, as you create your U, to put a bar on top in the front. It doesn't look attractive, but you can put a banner on it with your logo or business name. You can also put some of the artworks on there, which would make it a little bit more attractive and also usable. But the reason to put that bar in the front of your U shape would be to create extra stability for your panels and to make it a little bit sturdier on windy days. And that's it. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video today. Please subscribe to my channel below, and I love all of you for following me and for participating in my art adventures. Thanks again. This was Masha Schwartz with Masha Schwartz Art. Thanks guys. Bye.